your gatekeeper is going to use objections to screen you and to block you out. And I've already talked about some of these. What's this in regards to? Is this a sales call? We're not interested in that. We already used somebody. Send me your info. So let me go through some responses that you can use for those objections. And I'm actually going to display these from a tool that is accessed in Sales Scripter. This is actually our interactive script. And on our interactive script, on the right side are objections. So when you press one of the buttons on the right side, so you can see the button on here is pressed, what is this in regards to? One of the most famous gatekeeper objections. And so I'm going to go through some of these and show you what we prepared in Sales Scripter for you to say. What I want you to do when someone says, what is this in regards to? Your honest answer, and I've already hinted at this, is that your honest direct answer is going to be, I want to schedule a meeting. I want to have an introductory conversation. I would like to discuss with you who you're buying from, whatever. We don't want to say anything that makes us sound like a salesperson. And so one thing that you can do, and I would love for you to test this out, and you might get a kick out of it, how it just works. And it might not work every time, but I'm confident to say 7 out of 10 times this is going to work for you. So when they say, what's this in regards to, say basically your value statement or your value proposition, and then just stop talking after that. So say, oh, well, the reason why I'm reaching out is we help sales managers to improve sales performance for their entire sales team. And you just sit there. And the thing is that what the gatekeeper is looking for, they're not really looking for the content. They're not looking for the reason to let you in. They're looking for the flag to not let you in. And this does not give that. So what they will do after when you're sitting there, they're either going to ask you another question, or sometimes they'll actually pass you through. But what you're doing is you're avoiding their number one go-to for how to block you out. And because if you say, I want to schedule an introductory meeting for whatever, and then whatever you say after that, they're not even listening to. Then they're going to respond with, oh, we're not interested, or we don't have time for that. Or most of the time they'll say, we're not interested, thank you. Is this a sales call? It's the same exact logic as what is this in regards to. So same type of response there. We're not interested. And there's two, you can get, this is the exact same response that you can do, whether the gatekeeper says it or the target prospect says it. If the target prospect says it, they typically say, I'm not interested. A gatekeeper will kind of lump in the prospect in their objection, so they'll say, we're not interested, or she's not interested in any of that. So you have a couple options here. You could redirect to your pre-qualifying questions. So the gatekeeper says, oh, we're not interested in that. Say, oh yeah, oh, hey, listen, I want you to know, I understand I'm not trying to sign you guys up. So I'm not even really sure if you guys need what we provide. If I could ask you real quick, how concerned are you guys about the amount of time, blah, blah, blah. So that now this is one of those tactics where you're treating the gatekeeper like a prospect. You're asking one of your probing questions, and either A, they're going to answer it and you're going to stay on the phone, you're going to get away from that, I'm not interested, or B, they're going to say, well, I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, well, I understand. See, that's what I'm trying to get in touch with, and that's a question we really need to get answered. Another response that you could do to that same objection is you could redirect to common problems. So here's an example of that. Oh, I understand. Sometimes when I talk with other sales managers, they often express challenges that there's always a need to find ways to continue to improve sales performance, and it can take a long time to get new sales resources trained and ramped up. Are you guys experiencing any of that? So that's an example of responding with pain points. We already use somebody for that. So that's something gatekeepers sometimes say. There's 3 different responses that Sales Scripter will provide you for this objection. The first one is very direct responses. Okay, well, how long? Who are you guys using? How long have you been working with them? How's everything going? And so some very direct answers about who they're using. You could redirect to your pre-qualifying questions, which is the exact same response I just showed you for I'm not interested. What you're going to notice with these objection responses is that for the different objections, we're going to respond to them with some of the same exact answers. So you don't need to memorize 10 different objection responses. You just need to know 2 or 3 really, and you can use those for a lot of different situations. And that's kind of how Sales Scripter works, is that when you load up your info, we use that same exact those same exact talk tracks and questions in a lot of different places. These questions show up in your call script. They also show up in your objection responses. Your pain points show up in your objection responses, your call script, your email templates, your voicemail script. So so the next response for we already used somebody, you could also redirect your pain points, and that's displayed here. Just send me some information. So this is a response that you could use whether it's your target prospect or the gatekeeper. And what I would recommend is you don't want to jump off the phone when someone says real nicely and acting like they're interested, send me your info, because most of the time they're blowing you off and they're just trying to do it in a nice way that makes you feel okay. And the sad thing is that they're avoiding looking like a jerk, and then they're positioning you to put together information, which is a waste of your valuable time. And they know that they have no intentions, in most cases, of doing anything with your information. It's actually fairly unethical for a prospect to say this when they're just trying to get rid of you. They should know that you're going to spend 10 to 20 minutes putting together your information. And 10 to 20 minutes, what does that mean from a dollar standpoint for you? So shame on them, but don't let me add more frustration to you. Instead of letting that get you frustrated the next time you hear this, I want you to use this objection response, and this works perfectly. So they say, send me over your info. Hey, yeah, I could certainly do that, and I'll put something together. But you know what? I have a lot of info to send over. So that I know exactly what to send you, do you mind if I ask, how are you guys concerned with blah blah blah? And so you're asking one of your pre-qualifying questions, and either A, you're going to get what most of the time what will happen here is you're going to get away from them saying send me your info. They're either going to answer the question, and we're still talking about gatekeepers, so they might not know the answer, and that gives you a reason to ask to be let in. Moving on, we're not looking at making any changes. This is the exact same objection response as that we're not interested, and so on. So a lot of that. Those are some examples of how you can respond to some of those very common gatekeeper objections.